Today, we are going to talk about the eyes and what we can do to open up our eyes and give them more of a youthful look. For today's video, what I really want to focus on is hooded lids and dark circles. Those are the two things that probably plague me the very most in my eye area, and I know that a lot of you struggle with these issues as well. For emphasis today, I did do just one eye, and I did do the treatment that I'm going to talk about on this eye, and I didn't do it to this eye. First things first, what can we do to treat hooded eyes? Number one, incorporate a retinoid into your skincare routine. If you are concerned with aging skin, you want to get some vitamin A into your skincare routine. Now, I'm not talking about, slathering on Retin-A onto your eyelids. I don't mean that at all. But the use of a vitamin A derivative of some sort, whether it's retinol, retinaldehyde, or Retin-A, can help with the overall strength and structure of your skin in general, which in turn is going to help to keep your eyes youthful, open, the skin around the eyes more firm and just more youthful. Now, the second thing that you can do that has some instant gratification that I did do today to just this eye is to use microcurrent in the eyebrow area. The thing that I love about doing microcurrent in the brow area is you get instant gratification, you get instant results, and you can, if you are diligent and consistent, you can get results that stick around. Now, something that you do need to know, and it's super, super important to set your expectations, is that the first time that you do microcurrent, you're gonna get a lift. You're gonna see a lift in your brow. You're gonna do one side before you do the other, and you will definitely see a result. Know that that result is probably only gonna stick around for like 30 minutes. It isn't gonna stick around for very long. The key to microcurrent is diligence, consistency, and patience. You have to do the treatment regularly in order to see those results stick around. Imagine if you went to the gym and you worked out one time your upper body. You would not expect to go home and see chiseled arms. You know that you're probably going to take 2 or 3 months before you really start to see the results in your arms, and that's only because you went to the gym 3 times a week for those 2 to 3 months before you start to see the results. The same is true of microcurrent in your face. If you're wondering what microcurrent is the delivery of a low-level microamp of energy into the muscle to re-educate it and help it to kind of lift, shorten, and be where it was when it was more youthful. That as you're delivering that energy to the muscles, you're also getting a byproduct of the production of something called adenosine triphosphate, which is kind of a life source of the cells and helps with a lot of other activity in our cells, including collagen production. So a byproduct of microcurrent treatments is the induction of collagen. So between using a retinoid and doing microcurrent treatments, you can get some results that you can instantly see, and you can retain them if you are diligent. The other thing that is super, super important in this area is to care for your brows. The look of your brows is going to greatly emphasize how you see your hoods. This cannot be underestimated ever. It is so important to have a shaped brow. I can tell you that when my mom was 68 or 69 years old, she finally let me wax her eyebrows and I tinted them. Neither one of us could believe the difference in her face. It was so amazingly youthful to open up that whole area and get some structure and some frame. I tell you, ladies, if you have never shaped your brows or tinted them, give it a try. It is very inexpensive, and it's a great way to instantly transform your face. As far as tinting your brows is concerned, what also happens is you catch all the little tiny hairs that are practically translucent and you color them, giving the brows more of a full appearance, which is again more youthful. So tinting the brows and shaping them is a huge tip for opening up the eyes and for kind of tricking the eye into seeing more lid space and making the eyes just look bigger and more open. Dark circles are something that that plagues me. The very first thing that you want to do is you want to look in the mirror and you want to examine the color of your circles. If your circles are browns, then that is likely hyperpigmentation. Now, hyperpigmentation is completely different than dark circles that appear to be blue or green, or because you can see the blood through your thin skin underneath your eyes. I happen to have hit the jackpot and I have both. So I'm going to tell you what I do to counteract both of them. As far as hyperpigmentation is concerned, if you see browns under your eyes, you're going to want to address that the same way that you would address hyperpigmentation on your face otherwise, except for you want to be a little bit more gentle. I recommend that you get an eye cream, and you know I don't normally recommend eye creams, but you get an eye cream that contains pigment inhibitors like arbutin, kojic acid, niacinamide, vitamin C. Those are things that are going to help to hold the melanin back so it doesn't bubble to the surface as your skin turns over, revealing more of a fresh, pigment-free skin on the surface. Now, if you can find an eye cream that contains a retinoid, a gentle retinoid that you can tolerate, then that is a really fantastic way to combat hyperpigmentation under your eyes as well. If you notice that the color is blue or green, that is more of a blood vessel issue through thin skin. That's what you're seeing in there. You're seeing the vessels through this thin skin under our eyes. And as we get older, especially postmenopausal, the skin gets thinner and it gets thinner. So you can really see through it and see those vessels. That is a completely different source of dark circles. The very first thing that I would recommend to you is to talk to your doctor about getting a blood panel done and looking to see if you are deficient in any vitamins or minerals. The very first time that I ever really noticed my dark circles, the bluey green ones, was when I was pregnant with my son and I was anemic. It took me a long time to actually put two and two together that I may still possibly be anemic, and you can bet your bottom dollar that I'm getting a blood panel done to check my iron levels. So you can find out from your doctor if you are deficient in iron. You also want to have them check your vitamin levels. Check for vitamin C. Vitamins work synergistically to help iron deliver oxygen to our vessels, and healthy blood vessels are less likely to be leaky, causing kind of bruised appearance. So you really need to have, you need to know if you are deficient and then supplement accordingly. Now for me, I'm supplementing with vitamin C and I'm just starting to take iron again, and I will let you know how that works for my circles. Vitamin K is another vitamin that you can be deficient in and can have an effect on circles, dark circles, but that is one that you absolutely cannot start supplementing before you determine whether or not you're actually deficient and you have a conversation with your doctor. Vitamin K is definitely it's not a vitamin that you want to just start taking, because it does affect the coagulation of our blood, and you don't want to take it if you don't need it. Now, there are topical versions of vitamin K that can be mildly helpful. I mean, it's pretty subtle, but there is a little bit of improvement with topical vitamin K on dark circles. The only one that I have ever used that I actually noticed a little bit of a difference was by Sanitas, and it's called Vita-K. Now, that was an under eye cream that I've talked about on this channel several times, and I've used over the years. I've kind of used it and then gotten away from it and used it, and I just reordered it and I'm going to be using it again. It is a topical vitamin K that I feel really good recommending. It's got a really pleasant texture and it's very, very nice under the eyes. You know that I don't normally recommend eye creams, only if they have a specific purpose, and vitamin K eye cream definitely is more of a specific type of eye cream. Worth investigating for sure. Now, the last thing with dark circles that you can do, of course, is you can fix them with makeup. Something that I want to share with you that I think a lot of people my age or older may not actually realize is that there are two different kinds of under eye makeups that exist. Now, there's probably a lot of you that are like, duh, of course I know that, but I know that there are a lot of you that don't. The thing that I want you to consider incorporating into your makeup routine, if you have under eye circles that are blue blue or green is a corrector. Now, a corrector is not the same as a concealer, and I think that a lot of people who are 45 plus don't actually realize that. A corrector is typically some depth of a salmon or an apricot color or almost orangey, and it can vary in depth. So it can be light all the way to almost red, depending on the color of your actual skin. And the entire concept behind a corrector is that it's going to neutralize that blue or that green. If you were to look at a color wheel and you were to look at green or blue and you went directly across the color wheel, you would find orange and red. And what that means is those are complementary colors to blue and to green. And when they are put together, they bring it to the middle. They neutralize the color. So one that I've used forever I've talked about on this channel so many times back when I talked about makeup quite a bit more, is the IT Cosmetics. This is the Bye Bye Under Eye Corrector. Now this one is in medium and it is quite the salmon color. You probably can't really tell. I've had this forever, you guys. These last so long that you almost don't get through it before you have to get a new one because you've had it too long. They last a really long time. I wanna show you on this eye because you can see that dark circle. I'm gonna use the viewfinder, so this isn't gonna be very precise, but I just barely get a tiny bit on my finger. I want it to be the most thin veil. Now, I've got nothing. I don't even have any skincare under my eyes here, but I want you guys to see what can happen. I've been in the middle of a remodel, so my house is not fully decorated. My hands look ridiculous because I've been outside working. So hopefully you can tell the difference. It just neutralized that dark circle where it was blue and green. Now that is a corrector. If I were doing my full makeup right now, what I would do is I would then go in with my favorite concealer, which happens to be the Giorgio Armani Power Fabric, but you can use whatever concealer is your favorite. I put a couple of dots and then I blend that up. And the idea is less is more because I don't want stuff getting in the creases, and I don't ever do the technique where they do the V or anything like that. I just want the concealer to marry the corrector with my skin, to take the edge of the orange off. The corrector's job is to neutralize the blue and the green. The concealer's job is to marry it with your actual skin and the rest of your makeup so that it looks like skin and not like corrected under eye circles. So as you can see, it makes a bit of a difference. Now, obviously I would go on and I would do the rest of my makeup. I really do hope that you will visit the blog for a comprehensive approach to all of this. On the blog, I'm gonna go into more detail and give you more tips, more tricks, strategies for really addressing the eye area if that is an area of concern for you. I hope that you are having a wonderful weekend, and I will talk to you in my next skincare video. Take care.